Launch your countdown 1. SpaceX Falcon Heavy, go to launch.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Tech Talk Tuesday.
Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
ARS 15, stand by for terminal count.
And thanks for that applause. My name is Brian Mursky, and I'm the owner of Veranda Technologies. We're here in Brick Township, and we service Monmouth, Ocean, and the surrounding counties in New Jersey. Rather than, like we do most weeks, talk about what Veranda Technologies does, and your normal computer-related technology topics like backups and antivirus and Wi-Fi and smart home technology, I'm going to spend a few minutes. A few people have asked me about this because they saw pictures or video on the news, and the news covered this as well as they cover anything technology-related. They fumbled the ball. They really don't do a good job of explaining why. They'll show you the pretty pictures and say Elon Musk's name 5 or 6 times for the attention, but that's about it. So I want to talk about why SpaceX and Elon Musk and Tesla did what they did, why the employees dedicated their time and energy and resources to what culminated last week on February 6th. This isn't the first time SpaceX has launched rockets. In fact, I don't even believe it's the first time they've launched a heavy rocket. This one, by the way, was called Heavy Falcon 9. It's the name Falcon is because of the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars. That's why they named it that way, so if you were wondering. The purpose of these launches primarily is to test recoverability of the boosters. So when you send something up into space, whether it's a satellite or an anti-missile system, part of the Space Wars program that we tell people we don't have, the ballistic missiles that are up there that we claim don't exist, or if it's one day to colonize Mars, to put people on Mars, which is a pretty firm dream of Elon Musk's as well. When you send things into space, it's expensive. This particular launch was a $500 million launch, in excess of $500 million. Actually, nobody knows the exact price tag, but it was over $500 million. We know that. A large part of that cost is in the boosters that you never get back. So you use boosters, right, to have enough thrust to propel whatever it is you're taking out of the atmosphere up, and then those boosters drop off and they tumble back down into the ocean, and we never use them. We never see them again. We never use them again. And Elon Musk said, "That's silly. Why shouldn't we reuse them again? They're perfectly capable of flying. We spent millions of dollars on them. We used them for 5 minutes, right? Let's recoup some of that money." So when SpaceX rockets boosters drop off, they effectively steer themselves back. They fall for a while into the atmosphere, but rather than breaking up, they steer themselves back. They turn 180 and they land on a platform, ordinarily a floating platform. They actually use little, like a dock. Think of it like a boat dock, a little larger, 20 by 30, I think, somewhere around there. It's not very big, and it floats. Their name for it is, of course, I Still Love You, which you may have heard on the news or seen in articles, so that's where that comes from. And they land the boosters. And then they wait for them to cool, and they send in some really unlucky guy or team of people, and they bolt them down, and then they tow them back to shore, and they use them again and fill them up with fuel. So on the Falcon Heavy 9 launch last week, 2 of the 3 boosters, the 2 outer boosters that flank the center core booster, were already reused. They have been launched in the past. They've been recovered. They were filled with fuel, and they were used on this launch. And it was, one of their tests to see if they could do that. We apparently lost the center booster. From what I've read, it didn't have enough of the igniter fluid that's used to ignite the re-entry engine, which lands it, and guides it down slowly. So it didn't guide down slowly. It crashed in a horrific ball of fire on, of course, I Still Love You, the platform, and they'll have to do some repair work to that as well before the next one. But the goal here is to make space exploration more cost-effective, easier, safer, with the end goal being to send people to Mars, whom I believe they've already partially selected. 3, 4, 5 years ago, I want to say, probably 3 or 4 years ago, there was effectively a raffle, a drawing. You would submit your name if you wanted to give the rest of your life to the potential one-day future goal of colonizing Mars. And people will ask, why go to Mars? Why even do it? To use a line from one of my favorite television shows, and one of my favorite show writers, Aaron Sorkin, we go to Mars because it's what's next, right? We came out of the cave and we looked over the hill and we saw fire, and we crossed the ocean and we colonized the West. We took to the skies. We've gone to the moon. Mars is what's next. The timeline of exploration is why we do it, right? History of mankind is a timeline of exploration. So we're going to Mars. We don't know when we're going to Mars, but when we do, we're going to do it with cheaper rockets. We're going to do it with, safer technologies, and this is all being worked out now. That's what we're doing. They're going to continue to send rockets up. The next phase will probably be, satellite replacement. SpaceX will be contracted to replace satellites for companies, whether they're TV network satellites, cellular network satellites, weather satellites, whatever they are, government satellites. That's what's next. And then beyond that, and beyond that, and beyond that. The images, I don't remember if I said it earlier, the picture that you see on the right, the Tesla Roadster, Elon's Roadster with Starman in the front, that is not doctored. I actually thought it was originally. When you leave the Earth's atmosphere, you no longer have air pressure concerns like you do down here on Earth. So they used exploding rivets, and when they had the perfect photo, perfect Kodak moment, they exploded the rivets, blew the back of the capsule off, and that's where you get that picture over there of Starman in the Tesla. That is not photoshopped. That actually is a real photograph taken from a camera that was running, waiting to capture that. By now, we're a week out. My hunch is Starman is long gone. The car has disintegrated from the radiation that it's being bombarded with, and that would have happened whether there was a door on the back of the ship or not. But largely a success. That's why we did it. That's what it's all about. If you have time later this week, I highly recommend going to YouTube and searching SpaceX Falcon Heavy and watching a couple of the videos. There's one there from SpaceX. It's 15-20 minutes long. Walks you through the whole timeline with some narration from a couple of their staff, and it's just pretty exciting stuff to watch. That is this week's Tech Talk Tuesday. Next week, maybe Wi-Fi. We have a Wi-Fi promotion coming that we're going to offer to companies. So working on putting the last minute details together on that. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. We will see you next time on Tech Talk Tuesday.